Turning to this story, and it's bizarre and alarming, a wave of swatting cases is causing panic across college campuses, really across the nation. So on Friday night alone, police responded to active shooter threats at 3 universities in Georgia, all of which turned out to be hoaxes. And just the last 10 days, we've seen this. At least 10 college campuses have been the targets of these dangerous fake shooter calls. So who might be behind all of this? An online group called Purgatory has reportedly claimed responsibility, charging a fee to conjure up these false alerts. In response, the FBI is now investigating. A spokesperson for the Bureau telling Fox News Digital, quote, "The FBI is seeing an increase in swatting events across the country, and we take potential hoax threats very seriously because it puts innocent people at risk." Joining me now is senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, Cully Stimson. And Cully, first of all, obviously this is terrifying for people who think that there might be an active shooter right around the corner for them on their campus. Right. Parents get these alerts. Everyone's freaking out. They're not true. But it can be actually dangerous, right? It's not just a really bad prank. It can put, as the FBI statement said, their lives at risk.
Right. Now, this is not some, Hell Week prank that some fraternity guy does to pull the fire alarm in a campus building. This is an active shooter is happening on your campus. On one campus alone, there were 30 calls, Guy, that said there is shooting going on. And there was the sound of shooting or sounds of shooting in the background of the calls.
An elaborate hoax.
Right. Now, this is sophisticated, and clearly it's somehow coordinated. And I suspect they're all tied to each other. The real question, as we were saying before we came on, is there a foreign actor here? And I think we can't rule that out.
No, because that was one of my first thoughts on this. I don't know what this online group taking responsibility, Purgatory, is. If that's some sort of front, maybe it's homegrown. But we've seen in the past adversarial governments messing with us, trying to sow, terror and discord and fear.
Right.
They've done this with this exact, or at least a very similar tactic in the past. So that should at least be near the top of the list for investigation, right?
Right. And look at the potential federal crimes that are involved here. There's several, right? One of them is 18 U.S.C. 1038, which says you get a 5-year in federal prison if you just do the hoax. You get 20 years if somebody's injured. And you can imagine somebody running out of their dorm, somebody tripping over something, somebody freaking out. And you get up to life in prison if somebody dies as a result of it. What if a professor, what if a person has a heart attack and dies because they freak out?
Right.
And so this is all the more despicable to me on the heels of the Catholic school shooting. I mean, this is despicable, right? So when they catch these people, because people out there know who did this. Somebody knows, some bodies know who did this. Now, if it's a foreign actor, it'll be harder to get.
Right.
But I'm sure the FBI is thinking through all the ways to nab these folks. There'll be, I'm sure, probably an offer for a reward. But people know who did this and need to come forward and cough it up.
I sort of wonder, is there any way to differentiate between the real thing and a hoax? Unfortunately, we've dealt with the real thing too much in this country. I think we would all agree on that. Right. Solutions are a separate question. But to then have that fear stoked further, and with this pile on with these fake examples, now 10 times in 10 days, as you said, this has to be coordinated in some way. Is there any chance for the authorities to make that decision, almost split second, that this is fake versus real? I can't imagine, because you have to assume it's real, right? That's the nefarious element of
You
this.
have to err on the side of being safe, right? And so there's a few things going on in law enforcement's mind. When you get that call, we know this has happened at schools before, when the shooting really happened. So you got to show up.
Right.
You can't say,
as quickly
hey, Professor
as
Umpty Squad, can you go down there and check out if they're shooting in the chemistry building? No, you're going to send law enforcement there. Campus police are going to be involved. But while that's going on and the fake thing's happening, maybe a real thing's happening across town. And so there are a lot of things that they have to sort through, but you have to err on the side of showing up.
Yeah, that's another element of the actual risk to people's safety. If you have law enforcement resources being deployed falsely to one place based on a hoax, and then they're needed for real elsewhere, I mean, it's awful. And I would not be shocked if there is some foreign fingerprints on this, but maybe not. It's something that the FBI is all over, and we need answers, and we need it to stop. Cully, really good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate that very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.